Welcome back. We're here at a beautiful custom home designed by Old Hampshire Designs. And joining me now is owner of Landforms, Peter Schiess. Welcome, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much for having us.
You happen to do the design on this home, exterior, beautiful plantings, paving systems, etc. Tell us a little bit about what your company does.
We are a design build landscape architectural firm. So we do all the design work. We do all the construction related to the design work as far as landscape goes. We're not a maintenance company. So this type of home is exactly our bread and butter. We started this project as part of a group with the architects, the engineer, and Jay. And we sited the whole house for everybody and figured everything out, and then went all the way through to the finished product. Okay,
great. So you get in that early. It's not like the house gets built and then you come in. Oftentimes you're there right at the beginning.
Preferably, I'm there early.
It's easier for you,
That doesn't happen all the time.
Okay, so we'll tell our viewers to remember that.
The earlier we're involved, the less money will be spent over the course of time, because the site contractor who does all the rough grading, we can direct them knowing that the final picture, so jobs aren't done twice.
Okay, that's good to know.
But frequently we're pulled in a little later than that, and we're really more for figuring out all the actual landscape construction. The house has been determined where it's going, the driveway layout's been set, that kind of thing.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this house, because there were probably some challenges, because I'm looking out this window and it goes right down to the water, and I know that there's probably some things you have to account for there.
This house was definitely a challenge. Any home on the lakes now is more and more challenging because of regulations, both state and town. This house has a lot of drainage issues that had to be handled. So all the pavement areas that you see are called pervious. So they allow all the water to go into the ground rather than run off.
Okay.
So the walkway is, this back patio here is, and that's how we control all the runoff from the roof to the gutters to the driveways. It's all handled that way.
Wow.
So that's pretty important on all the lake homes. It was particularly important on this because the whole slope of the lot is from high in the back to lakeside.
Yes, which is probably very common for a lakeside home.
Yeah, this is actually one of the flatter lots we've worked on.
Sure, some of them are on cliffs almost.
Super steep, yeah. They're getting fewer and fewer.
Okay. Well, and that's why I can see why that's so important that you come in early in the process, because you need to work with the engineers and all that.
We do, we have to. And in fact, you have to decide where the house is going to be, because there are regulations now that if this house had been too close to the water, that patio would not have been allowed. So we actually convinced everyone to move the house back from what was here. There used to be a house here.
Okay.
And we moved it back so that there's enough room to have a patio. And you have to think of that stuff right in the beginning.
Right.
Because the regulations with the state don't change.
Okay. Wow, interesting. Okay, and then how about planting, what you put in the ground? Do you work with the client about that? Evergreens,
We do.
Flowers, things like that?
I always ask folks to give me a list of what they like and what they don't like. Colors, scents, that kind of thing. I would say 9 out of 10 people don't really know what they want or like. We tend to try and do more native plant materials.
Right, and hardy.
Very hardy. Most of the folks that work around the lake area here, it's a second home. So they're really not interested in coming up on weekends or vacation time and spending an awful lot of time maintaining what's going on. So native plant materials require far less maintenance than, I always call them frou-frou plant materials.
Right, okay. Good.
And that's what we did here.
Right, and particularly for people that aren't from here, they wouldn't necessarily know what native
That's correct.
things to specify, but you
I mean,
do
a
that
lot
all
of folks,
day.
they're from New Jersey or Connecticut.
Right.
The plant palette for those southern locations is dramatically different than what we can do here.
That's right.
So I guide them through that, and then we do the install and pay attention to it all. It's guaranteed for a season. And then usually everybody is done on phases with us because we're the last contractor on the job.
Yes.
And they've upgraded their sinks or what have you. So we do it in phases and work for some folks for 2 years, 3 years, depending on the scope of the project.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful. Well, that's great information you gave us. We've got your information up on the screen. You've got a great website, which has got some nice photos of some of the work you've done as well. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
Have a
I've
great
enjoyed
spring
it.
and summer.
You too.
Take care.